We're joined by POPCRU Spokesperson Richard Mamabolo. That's the police union. Mr. Mamabolo, I was about to actually ask you for those figures of police officers who have sadly passed on because of being infected with COVID-19. Malungelo Boy is saying that nearly 700. Are those the same figures you have? And tell us what the feeling is in the police union about this vaccination drive kicking off among the countries, some of the country's essential service workers.
Thank you, Koli. We're quite elated over the fact that there has been a launch today, and we know that the rollout will start from Thursday, where over 180,000 of our members will be vaccinated. So it's been quite hard for a lot of our police officers. You remember that we currently have infections of 30,900 infections across the country, and 680 police officers have died since the pandemic started. We've always known from the time that the lockdown was announced that it would be important that our members get vaccinated, because they would obviously have to play a meaningful role in ensuring that the South African populace does obey the lockdown rules. So we're quite happy the process has finally come to start. We saw the minister, the national commissioner, and of course our president getting their jabs this morning. And for us, this encourages the rest of the police population to actually go out in their numbers and ensure that they are vaccinated. Our members, of course, work controlled environments as opposed to hospitals or schools. So even that you would get them being easily susceptible to be getting infected. And again, with the third wave, there was a lot of complaint among members that how do they go into, monitoring the third wave regulations, whereas they had not been vaccinated. So this brings about a good opportunity for them to go out and do their work with comfort.
Health, Mr. Mamabolo, is of paramount importance, especially among your members who are police officers. When we talk about comorbidities, are police officers mostly vulnerable to these? Do they present with these comorbidities, or are you confident that fitness levels are so high among police officers that, well, really it's not a big worry? Because the expectation, as you would know, is that police officers by nature, they should be very healthy people in order for them to deal decisively with criminals.
No, most definitely. I think, that of course has got to do with the aspect of training processes, which of course have been increased to ensuring that they are kept at a steady level. But as well, we think that the fact that we've had so many police officers who had been off sick has obviously had an impact on the kind of service that police offer. So now with the vaccination, we are currently confident that the health levels would obviously improve, and of course we would be seeing more police officers, as much as there are shortages of police within the country. But the fact that they would have been vaccinated would obviously ensure that service can actually improve.
Yeah. Mr. Mamabolo, I wouldn't be doing my job if I don't ask you about the situation in Kandla. We heard the police minister commenting just a few moments ago about how the police handled that situation in order to avoid bloodshed, talking about Marikana as the reference point. In your view, as a union, the police are often faced with very tough situations. Do you think that the police handled themselves well? And moving forward, this particular story around the potential arrest of the former president is not going away anytime soon, it would seem. How would you advise the police to handle themselves, and in particular avoiding any bloodshed?
Yeah, look, we would like to commend the actions that police undertook yesterday. I think through the leadership of the Provincial Commissioner Mkwanazi, they did quite well to restrain themselves, because you would have seen that the large number of crowds that were there. And of course, I think it was for some intentional to provoke police so that we have a different outcome today. So we think that they acted quite well. However, there have been obviously recordings that have been taken that protest, and either way, people will have to account for the actions that they took. It does not necessarily mean that police need to arrest people on the spot, which would have obviously resulted in a situation that we would not have liked to see. However, we think that the manner in which they approached the whole incident was quite good, and we would encourage them to do the same in the future.
Richard Mamabolo speaks for Police Union POPCRU. Thank you very much for your time, sir.